You know how you just be like with your homies and shit, you a shorty and shit, y'all got all the dreams, the big dreams out, man. When we get some money, we gonna do this. Or you see a car ride paid, man, we gonna get that car. Like when I was a shorty, I said, I'm gonna get a lot of money and we gonna all split it, I'm gonna split it. Icy by yourself, man, you know. This shit, I ain't do this shit by myself, so. It's either this or it's that. But like, who gonna be on my side if I'm not gonna? So you know, I'm 100% with me. Like, hell no, I'm finna get out. I'm finna beat this. So for the motherfucker, you know, but I'm already used to that. Like, folks respect that. But that's people from around the way, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But now it's big worldwide, so that's big though. Yeah.
I came from another club, and next thing you know, when he came here, there was an altercation. Next thing you know, guns fired.
And how many you heard?
I heard 3 different guns going off.
What's up, world? Thanks for joining me as I take y'all to Parkway Gardens, aka O Block, but for the sake of this documentary, we gon' call it V Block. Kingvon Bennett, better known as Kingvon, was born August 9th, 1994.
Excited me about having my first child is me being able to share my love, you know.
He started out like in sports and video games and other things that young boys like. But as he got into high school and he lost one of his close friends, that's when Kingvon turned into the sack.
Don't nobody really know when they started being bad. That shit was really regular. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just woke up one day, I was bad as hell. I don't know what the fuck happened. I was just getting good A's and B's.
Being in O Block and as Kingvon put himself, out of pure boredom and watching the drug dealers and the violence that went on in the crime-ridden neighborhood, he soon began adapting to the ways of the world of O Block.
But now I'm out of school with the people that ain't doing shit, but on the streets, all they know is being loud, mean, bad, you know, selling drugs, doing this, doing that. So now I'm around them, and now I'm, you know, my environment shit, I'm adapted to that shit.
As Vaughn said, he began to become a product of his environment. And in his environment, it was the BDs, the Black Disciples. And his grandfather, David Barksdale, was said to be the founding leader.
Larry Hoover was a High Supreme gangster. David Barksdale was the devil disciple.
Vaughn didn't get to meet his father until he was 8 years old, due to him going back and forth to prison. Their relationship was short-lived, because he also was gunned down. Kingvon eventually followed the footsteps of his grandfather and his father, and he too became a Black disciple. Well, I wouldn't say following them, more cause he had to.
It's just like, since I'm over here, you see what I'm saying? You is where you at. Like if you would've grew up, if you would've been born where I'm at, you would've had to been gangbang. Just cause that's what it is. Or you ain't going outside.
He would end up catching his first armed robbery of his own and going to juvenile at the age of 14 years old.
Now, when you started going to jail, we're talking juvenile.
Yeah, juvenile, yeah.
What were some of the things that you got in trouble for?
They locked me up for a robbery, armed robbery, and armed carjacking. They say I robbed somebody to their car.
This is something you were able to beat back then?
Right, they dropped the charges. They dropped most of them and gave me, let me go for boot camp. I was too young to even know what the fuck was going on. I just wanted to get out of jail, so give me boot camp. I took that shit and got out.
That was Kingvon's first charge, but it definitely wasn't his last. He began to ring up a string of charges that ranged from drugs to gun possession to even murder. But we'll get to that later. What happened to Kingvon? What made him like this? Like he said, a product of his environment. On O Block, gangs and violence go hand in hand. So let's get back to the gang culture.
As if the youngsters growing up in the older and poorer parts of America's cities didn't have enough problems, many of them have to grow up scared. They are in fear for their lives, literally, because of gang violence. Bill Schechner, who reports on the young for the NBC News program Main Street, has a report tonight from the urban battleground.
Shoot him. Shoot him in his head. Shoot him in his head. You got a point right here. Boom. Fuck two. Say it. Gotta shoot him in his head.
Gang banging now and gang banging then are two totally different things. Back in the day, the two gangs had more structure and the wars were more based on the drug trade. And even back then, the BDs had the upper hand. They controlled the well-known 16-story Randolph Towers that was only 2 minutes away from O Block. The setup will remind you somewhat of New Jack City. They had snipers on the roof, workers in the windows with night vision goggles. The BDs were making money hand over fist. I'm talking about 300,000 every week. And if you think that's something they did that for 15 years, they were smart with money. They laundered it through apartment buildings, laundromats, a record label called MOB. They even had a club in Atlanta. But just like all good things, their run came to an end in 2004 when the apartment building was raided by police. 50 people were locked down and their leadership was wiped out just like that, along with the projects. Once this happened, the BDs migrated to O Block and they formed an alliance with all the surrounding gangs to go against the GDs. The GDs, which are known as the Gangster Disciples, they also had their leadership taken. So now that means two major gangs with no structure. Welcome to the new generation of gangbanging.
First of all, let's be clear, Chief Keef is only 16, so don't be in. Oh, you're not? Why does everybody say you're only 16 years old? How old are you?
2012, a kid from Chicago emerged from out of nowhere and created a cult-like following, so from O Block, and he was also a BD. And with his newfound fame gave him a platform, not only just a platform, but a large platform to totally disrespect the opposition, which were the GDs.
Short, you know what I'm saying? So it's GLO gang instead of Glory Boys. You can say either one though, it don't really matter, you know what I'm saying? I won't get offended, gang won't get offended, you know, that's what we are, Glory Boys, you know what I'm saying? But Glow Gang is just a short abbreviation for Glory Boys. You know what I'm saying? It's just GLO, GANG, you know, we be on a lot of gang shit, you know. We got everybody saying gang now. It was squad, you know, we changed the gang. It ain't none of that squad. We don't really.
Chief Keef would bring something new to the game, a new sound, a sound that was called drill. But Kingvon would go on to say that he was the creator of the term, basically.
Yes, because it's my shit. You see what I'm saying? Like the drill shit, that's like when it started. You know who started it? So he say, who started it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's when it kind of got publicized.
Nah, yeah, you see what I'm saying? He's rapping about us. He's rapping about, you know, me and my homies and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, who was the creator of the term is not up for me to decide. But one thing that I can say, when Chief Keef hit the scene, his influence and his impact enabled him to open the door for his whole side of town. Newfound fame of the O Block residents, they disrespected the opposition every time they got by making references like smoking on Tuka.
Tuka's death became the focal point for a lot of violence because the gang members that killed Tuka then used social media to really insult his memory.
In this case, you have this young man actually in his coffin, and this image has also been defiled.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this 4-part mini-doc, King of the O, on Kingvon. To be updated, make sure you like and subscribe. This documentary is brought to you by Luxury Life, a new urban streetwear brand. Support black businesses and click the link below and get the drip. And follow the Luxury King on Instagram. It's the plug!